Okay, thank you. ओके, स्क्रीन शेयर की है, क्या आप देख सकते हैं? काइंडली कंफर्म, कैन यू विजुअलाइज माय स्क्रीन?
Yes, sir.
Cable tool drilling.
Recording in progress.
Okay, students, today the topic that we are going to cover that will be cable
सर
tool
स्क्रीन
drilling.
शेयर हो रही है बट आवाज कट कट कर आ रही है, क्लियर नहीं।
Uh, are all students facing the same problem, or might be there is some issue with you? क्या सबको ये आवाज कट कट के आ रही है, फ्लक्चुएशन है, या फिर स्पेसिफिकली आपको है? ये दूसरा स्टूडेंट ही कंफर्म कर
ठीक
सकता
आ
है
रही
कोई?
है।
ओके, ठीक है, तो माइट भी उनके इंटरनेट के अंदर प्रॉब्लम हो।
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Okay, students, the topic that we are going to cover today, that will start from cable tool drilling. Previously, we have discussed some sections to the introduction to drilling engineering, and today we will start with cable tool drilling. So usually our focus in this course will be the rotary drilling, because nowadays rotary drilling is done, but cable tool drilling also relate with the drilling operation that was actually done in the petroleum industry in older time. So this is the reason that introduction to the cable tool drilling will be given as well. So what exactly the cable tool drilling? Cable tool drilling is actually, I will share the working procedure of this methodology as well. Actually, this is a methodology that was actually used to drill water wells in the 19th century. Initially, it was actually used for drilling water wells, but in 19th century, it was used for the oil production as well. But the oil production was done from the shallow surface, and usually the depth that can be explored by cable tool drilling is not very deep. So it is the limitation of cable tool drilling. So this is the schematic diagram of the components of cable tool drilling, and you will see that most of the components are like the conventional drilling rig that we just studied, and actually that rig was for rotary drilling. But here the setup that you can see at the moment on the screen, that is actually shown in the reference of cable tool drilling. So we will discuss this now. Okay, let's choose this image. Let me see. So let's discuss that how cable drilling actually works. So firstly, the thing that you need to know that there will be no rotation of the bit in cable tool drilling. In cable tool drilling, drilling is proceeded with downward and upward action. So what happens, like you can see that there is a walking beam here. This is called walking beam. And you can see that the assembly that is actually present in the borehole, that whole assembly is attached with the walking beam. So what happens that you can see that here a pulley is attached. So what happens that whenever this walking beam move downward, what will happen downward? So when so actually the it is attached with the walking beam, and whenever this walking beam will move upward, then as a result this whole assembly will move upward. So this is the component of the cable towed drilling that is actually controlling this whole process. And here you can see that it is written as a baler.
Recording stopped.
So we were discussing the cable tool drilling, and I was explaining the working of walking beam. And walking beam is actually a component that is used to lower or to raise the assembly that is actually present in the borehole. So you can here it is a baler. So what actually the baler is? Baler is actually a hollow pipe that have valve at the end. So it is used to remove the cuttings from the subsurface. So while the connection of the pipes, like if you want to proceed, if you want to drill here, then what will you do? That you will keep drilling, and when the whole section of the pipe will be consumed, then you will add a new pipe. You will add a new pipe, and this whole process continues like this. You will continuously make joints so that you may proceed in the deeper depths. So here it is the explanation of this procedure, and here you can see that it is mentioned that the working of the cable tool drilling is actually the pounding action. Now what is drill stem? Drill stem is actually the assembly that is actually, you can see that here it is written as drill stem. So what is drill stem? Drill stem is actually combination of the components that are actually present in the borehole for the drilling action. So what are these combinations? That combination may include bit, it will include collar, and the other components includes like the drilling pipe. So the combination of these components will be called as drill stem. So this is the description of the baler, and it is, as I explained before, it is an open tube that has valve at the bottom, and it is actually used to remove the cuttings from the subsurface. While the procedure to continue this drilling is same as the rotary drilling. you just add pipes, drilling pipes to proceed the drilling action. And there is an other image related to cable tool drilling, and here you can see that there is a walking beam, and this walking beam is actually connected with the drill stem. And what will happen that whenever the beam will be raised, the attached drill stem will also move upward. So what will happen that you just need to move the walking beam upward and downward. As a result, the whole assembly in the bore hole will be automatically moved upward and downward. So there will be a pounding action, and you know that as a result of that pounding, the bore hole will be drilled. So this is the basic procedure behind the cable tool drilling.
Recording in progress.
Okay, this was the procedure related to cable tool drilling, and I just discussed that mm, this is the main component of the cable tool drilling. This is actually the walking beam, and it is connected with the drill stem. Drill stem is the combination of the components that are actually present in the borehole, and you can see that there is what are the components that will be present in the borehole. Any student who may tell me? Yes, what are the components that are actually present in the borehole? Yes, Rafe. Rafe, are you there?
Yes, sir.
So, what do you think that what type of components will be present in the borehole for the drilling?
Sir, borehole pipe.
Okay, so you can say that drilling pipe. Okay, this is the one component. Another component,
Borrow pits.
what? Can you repeat?
Borrow pit.
Borrow pit. What is borrow pit?
सर और या फिर कोई और नाम सर, शायद मैं गलत बोल रहा हूँ। वो जो सर डायमंड कितना है जिसके डिफरेंट विग साइज वगैरह मौजूद
Okay,
होते हैं।
okay. So it is actually bit. Okay, not pit. Okay, that is actually the bit. So you are actually talking right. So the other component will be bit. So the student just told us the two components, and the other component that may include, it may be the drilling collar. Okay, so it was the component that is used to induce more weight on the bit. So the combination of these components is called as drill stem. So what will happen that all these components are connected with the walking beam. Whenever this beam will move upward, the whole setup will move upward, and when this beam will move downward, the whole setup will move downward, and as a result there will be the pounding action. So as a result of this pounding action, what will happen that there will be a baler, there will be a baler, and the cuttings will be stuck in the baler. So after that, the walking beam will be raised upward. As a result, this whole assembly will move upward, and the baler is removed from the subsurface, and the cuttings are removed. So this whole process is proceeded in continuous manner, and we will reach our desired depth. The main advantage of cable tool drilling is it can work very well in hard formation, but if there will be any loose formation, then what will happen that it will not give us our required efficiency. So there will be the problem of stucking and the other kind of problem. This is the reason that cable tool drilling is like it is most applicable in hard formation. So can you give me any example related to hard formation? What is meant by hard formation and what is meant by soft formation? You need to name two rocks that one may be hard and the other may be soft. Yes, Asan. Asan, I am asking you, can you name the hard rock and soft rock?
Sir, SN29.
Yes, 29.
Sir, short formation to give another example, BVBI means कि हमें जो आपने क्लियर दूसरा एंड दी हुई है हार्ड फॉर्मेशन में सर जिस किसी भी हार्ड मिनरल की बनी हुई थोड़ी सी हार्डनेस है तो उसमें
Which
mix
one?
हुई
Which one? Name any hard formation.
सर हम क्वार्ट्ज भी कह सकते हैं
Quartz is not a rock, it is mineral.
सर वो मिनरल्स की फॉर्मेशन में की हम बात कर रहे थे वो क्वार्ट्ज सर मिनरल सर
You name to you need to name any rock, not mineral. So kindly tell me the name of any rock.
रॉक पे दौड़ सर हम इसमें किसकी कह सकते हैं और रॉक की सर इस तरह नेम माइंड में क्लिक नहीं कर रहा हार्ड फॉर्मेशन में
So you don't have any idea about the name of the rock, isn't it?
सर वही ये माइंड में क्लिक नहीं कर रहा हार्ड फॉर्मेशन का नेम ये
Just tell me name of any rock. Either that is hard or a soft.
हेलो हेलो सर
Yes, I am listening. I am just saying that just tell me name of any rock, either that is soft or a hard.
सर नेम ऑफ सर हम क्वार्ट्जाइट में तो होते हैं सर वो हार्ड में रॉक में नहीं आता
Okay.
सर वो हार्ड
Quartzite.
रॉक में
Okay. So he is saying that
Sir, ma'am,
quartzite, it is
quartzite.
actually it
You
is
can
actually okay. Thank you. So he told that quartzite. So quartzite is a metamorphic rock and it can be called as a hard rock as well. So usually cable tool drilling is performed in the sedimentary rocks and it is sometimes maybe in rare cases it can be done in the metamorphic rock as well. But it will perform better in the hard rock as compared to soft rock because in soft rock there can be any problem of sucking. So now coming towards the main topic and it is the rotary drilling. So this is the type of drilling that we will discuss in detail. So what is rotary drilling? Rotary drilling is the type of drilling that actually performed on the basis of the rotation of the bit. So the main principle behind the rotary drilling is the rotation of the bit. This is the main thing. So what happens? I am going to explain the process of rotary drilling in brief way. So what happens that when you will proceed drilling, then you have to add any drilling pipe. So you have to add drilling pipes continuously until you reach your desired depth. So what happens that whenever you are joining a new pipe, then this process is called as a making a connection. It is called as making a connection. Okay. So wait. So here you can see that if you want to reach this depth, then what will happen that you can see that here this is the total length of pipes at the moment and it is the total depth at which the drill bit is present. So now you want to drill at this depth, the depth that I mentioned in yellow color. Okay. So what will happen that you will join an other drilling pipe, you will stop the drilling and you will join another drilling pipe here. So then again the whole process will be continue and the drilling will be proceed up to the desired target. Okay, and during the process of rotary drilling, mud is circulated. So why mud is circulated? Mud is circulated so that you may lift the cutting from the subsurface to surface. You may control the pressures that are actually exerted from the surrounding to the borehole. And the other purposes of bit include the lubrication of the drilling bit. So these are few uses of drill mud. So what happens that during the rotary drilling operation, you keep the circulation of the drilling mud. And when you drilled a borehole, then what will be the next step? Then after drilling, like if this is the borehole, then what will be the next step? And let this is the surface, and you have drilled this borehole. So this is actually borehole. Okay, this is borehole. And okay, this is the total depth of the borehole that you have drilled with rotary drilling. So what will happen that after drilling the borehole, you will insert a pipe. So after inserting the pipe, then you have to add cement here. Then you will add cement here. So the cement will move from the center of the drilling pipe, the center of the casing up to the bottom, and then it will move upward through annulus. This whole activity is called as cementing. The process in which cementing is poured in the borehole for the strength of to maintain or to increase the strength of the borehole, that process is called as cementing. So this is the brief description of the rotary operation in drilling. So coming toward the components of the rotary drilling, these are the main components of the rotary drilling that we will discuss one by one. So firstly, the part of the drilling, rotary drilling operation, it is power system. So as the word is showing that power system. So this shows that it will discuss the power that is actually used in the drilling rig, or you can say that is used in the rotary drilling operation, because we are currently discussing the components of the rotary drilling. So overall, these whole components actually make up the total operation of the rotary rig. So firstly, we are going to discuss the power system. So what exactly power system is? Power system is actually the total consumption of the power that is used to done different operations related to the rotary drilling. So the thing that you need to keep in your mind that most of the power that is used on the drilling rig, it is consumed in the hoisting system and fluid circulation system. Now what is hoisting system? Any student who may tell me that what is hoisting system? Okay, so I have to Shamuddin, registration number 20. Can you tell me that what
Yes.
is hoisting system?
सर वो जो बेसिकली हमारे पास जो लाइंस होती है जिनसे हम वेट को लिफ्ट करते हैं, आई थिंक वो वाली उसे होस्टिंग सिस्टम उसमें इंक्लूड होता है.
Yes, actually the hoisting system is overall activity in which any weight is either lowered or lifted using drilling lines. This whole process is called hoisting system. You are somehow correct. And what is the fluid circulation?
सर जब ड्रिलिंग जो हो रही होती है साथ में हमारे पास जो ड्रिल बिट से हमारे पास जो निकल रहे होते हैं एक्सकवेशन, वो ही आई थिंक फ्लूइड सर्कुलेशन है उसके अंदर.
Okay. Any other student who may tell me? So if you will note, yes, Utpa. So any other student who may
सर वो
contribute in
सर
this
उसके
regard?
अंदर
Yes.
सर वो मड पंप करते हैं,
Okay. So the
सीमेंटिंग और
pump,
मड.
okay, no, the cementing is not included in the fluid circulation. Fluid circulation is actually related with the drilling mud. So the process by which the drilling mud is circulated in the borehole, that process is called as a fluid circulation. So here they are saying that most of the power that is actually present on the rig, it is consumed in the hoisting system and fluid circulation. So the main point here is regarding hoisting system and fluid circulation, that they are actually happen on alternate basis. What is meant by alternate basis? That it is not possible that hoisting system and fluid circulation system are happening at a same time, because when what is hoisting system? Hoisting system is like the process of lifting or lowering any component of the borehole. So most of the cases, the raising or and the lowering components are the drill bit and the drill pipes. So when you are adding a drill pipe to the drill assembly, then you will stop the fluid circulation. Then you will stop the fluid circulation. Then you will add the drill pipe to the other sections of the drill pipe. So during the making a connection activity of a new drill pipe with the drilling assembly, the fluid circulation is stopped. So what happens that when you will make a connection of new section, then the hoisting process will be stopped, like you are not raising any component at the moment. And what will happen that after making a connection, you will start the recirculation of the mud. The circulation of the mud will be started again. So you can see that whenever there will be the hoisting system, then there will be no fluid circulation, and when there will be the fluid circulation, then there will be no hoisting operation. So this is the this you can say that a concept or a thing that is related with the hoisting system and fluid circulation system in terms of power. So what will happen that the total power, if total power is like 100, for example, I'm just giving this number to make this understand. This is not realistic number. So if the power is 100 watt, then what will happen that this power, let's suppose this hoisting system is taking 60 and fluid circulation, FC means fluid circulation, is taking as 70. So what will happen that either you can see that although 60 plus 70, it is around 130, and it is more than the total power, but still you can proceed the drilling activity with 100 watts, because when there will be the hoisting system, then there will be no fluid circulation system, so there will be no consumption, there will be no consumption of the power in fluid circulation. So this 70 watt will be not consumed at the moment. So there will be the 60 watt consumed in the hosting system, and when the hosting system will be completed, then this process will be like the consumption of the power that is actually used in the hosting system, that will be stopped, and the total power will be consumed in the fluid circulation system. So these are the things that are done in alternate basis. So usually the power requirements at the drilling rig are, general figure is 1000 horsepower to 3000 horsepower. Okay. In the older times, usually steam was used. Like in the start of our course, we have discussed the type of the drilling rigs on the basis of power supply. So steam, the working of the drilling rigs on the basis of steam is another type, and it is usually discussed uh, as a mean to power the drilling rig, but it was actually done in the older times. Usually, this is not applicable in the current scenario. Nowadays, the power is supplied to the drilling rig from the engines. Like the engines can be the diesel type engines or motors, and the drag type assembly, or the drag type drag drive type, sorry, assembly. So these are the two type of power supplies that are currently used in the drilling industry. So what happens that the main difference between the diesel electric rig and the power direct drive rig, the main difference is like in the diesel electric rig, firstly the electricity is generated, then the generated electricity is transferred to the desired components using any other components, like it can be used by electric motors, like these kind of things. You can differentiate in a better way, like in diesel electric rigs, the electricity will be generated and it will be supplied to the desired components by any third party means. Like you will use, let me draw the diagram of this. So I am going to tell a key point so that you may differentiate the diesel electric rig and the direct drive rig. So one of the main components is the electric motors. Electric motors are used in diesel electric rigs, while the engines, or mainly the engines, are used in drag drive rigs. So this is not a very technical kind of thing, but you can see that the in diesel electric rigs, rig engines are used, while in the drag drive rigs, power transmission is done from the internal combustion engine, and that is actually transferred to other parts using chain and belts. So I will discuss this thing in later slides. So at the moment you may skip if you want. And the main difference between the diesel electric rig and direct drive rig is the initial cost that is actually related with the setup. If you want to make the setup and you want to consume the financial constraints, like in such scenario, then there will be the high consumption of the finances on the direct drive rig. The initial consumption of the finances will be higher in the direct drive rig, and there is no technical thing that is mostly associated with the diesel electric rig and direct drive rig. So coming towards the technical thing, that is the most concerned at the moment. Unlike the difference between the diesel electric rigs and the direct drive rigs, here is the main content that is related with the power system. So how power system is stated? That power system is actually stated in terms of, if you want to discuss the performance of the power system, if you like, if there are two rigs and you want to differentiate the efficiency of the power of these two rigs, then you will term then you will use these terms to explain the performance of those rigs. So what are these parameters? That one is the output horsepower, that, and the other things include the torque. So you should have very good idea that what exactly the torque is, and the turning effect of anything is actually called as torque, and the fuel consumption for various engine speeds. How much fuel is used while achieving a specific speed. So these are three parameters that are actually used to explain the performance of the drilling rig in terms of power system. So here you can see that this is actually the shaft power, and it is actually the product of angular velocity and the output torque. And you need to focus on the equations, you need to focus on the units and the conversions. So these are the main three things that you need to focus at the moment. So here you can see that it is the omega, and omega is actually the angular velocity, and omega is equivalent to 2 pi n. Okay, and torque is actually the product of the force and the radius, and here you can see that it is just a replacement of these terms. So this is actually the overall shaft power of any power system. Now coming towards the consumption of the fuel, and like the efficiency of the engine in terms of fuel consumption can be explained on the basis of WF. WF is actually a variable that is actually explaining us the fuel consumption. So you need to remember that WF is actually related or combined with the heating effect of the fuel. So you know that the heating effect of every fuel is different. So the heating effect of any fuel is shown with H. So H is the variable that is used to show the heating effect. So heating effect is actually a variable that tells us that how much heat can be produced from a specific fuel. So here you can see in this table that there are different fuels. It includes the diesel, gasoline, butane, methane, and the density of the fuels are also given. And in the third column you can see that the value of H is given. It is actually the heating value. So if you want to explain the heat energy input to the engine, then what will you do? Then you will just take a product of fuel consumption and the heating value. So from the product of fuel consumption and the heating value, you will get the heat energy input to the engine. And if you want to discuss the output power system efficiency, then output power efficiency is actually the efficiency of the system, and it is actually the ratio of energy output over energy input. So when you will calculate the whole energy output and the whole energy input, then after calculation of these two parameters, if you will just take the ratio of these two parameters, then you will eventually reach to the overall power system efficiency, like the efficiency of this whole drilling rig. Sorry. So this is a numerical that is actually related with the power supply. But before proceeding to this numerical, I would say that it will be much better for you if you may take out your, like, the register or the notebook, and you may perform these calculations at the moment. So firstly, let's read the statement of this numerical or the example. That is actually the a diesel engine gives an output torque. So here you can see that the torque is given. So this is the torque. Okay, let's turn this into, okay, a torque is given, and the other thing is RPM is given. This is actually the value of n. And thirdly we have the consumption rate. So what was the consumption rate? Consumption rate is actually the value variable, that is WF. Now what we need to do, we need to calculate the output power and the overall efficiency. So these are the two things that we need to calculate at the moment. So what was the equation that we discussed for the output power? It was actually the product of angular velocity and the torque. Now what you need to do, like angular velocity, our objective is the output power it is actually the output power, and secondly we want to calculate the efficiency E. So these are our two objectives. So what is the equation of output power? So output power is given as P is equal to omega T, omega capital T. So here omega is the angular velocity, and it is actually 2 pi n, and T is the torque, and torque is F into R. Now what we have given, what can we have from this statement? Here you can see that the torque is already given, and the other thing that are given in the statement, it includes the speed. This is actually the, you can say that it is actually the rotation of the shaft, and it is here mentioned with 1200 RPM. So here the fuel consumption rate WF is 31.5. So let's see the equations. So firstly, you just need to calculate this P is equal to omega T. You need to input the quantities that have been given in the statement, and you can see that the omega is already given, and you need to calculate the, sorry, the T is already given, and you need to calculate the omega. So what happens that after calculation of the power, you need to convert the power into horsepower. So you need to convert the power into horsepower. When you will calculate the power initially, you will have power in the feet lbf per minute units. Okay, so what is it? Feet is feet, lbf is pound, and pound force, and minute is simple, the unit of time. So you need to convert that unit of power into HP. So what you will do, you will just convert that power into HP. Now we need to calculate the efficiency, and for calculation of the efficiency you need to calculate the input power and output power. So what you have already done, you have already calculated the output power. So if you will have the input power, then you can simply take the ratio, and as a result you will have the efficiency of the drilling rate. So what is the equation of input power? So the equation of the input power is Qi is equal to Wf into H. So this is actually the equation that can be used to calculate the input power. But for the desired units, always keep this in your mind that when you will have the value of Wf, you will divide that value with the density. So from where we are getting this density? So here you can see that 7.2 pound per gallon is given. So from where we are getting this density, actually you can see here, this is a diesel engine. So what exactly is this? Is a diesel engine. This means that we are using diesel in this scenario. So you need to use this table for the calculation of output and input power. So here you can see that the density of the diesel is 7.2 ppg. What is ppg? ppg means pounds per gallon. So here you can see that the density of the diesel, here it is given as 7.2. So what you will do, that you will just divide the Wf by 7.2. So after this division, the units will be, this gallon will be cancelled with the gallon in the density, and eventually the units will be pound per hour. So you need to convert that hour into minutes. This is the reason that you have added this conversion factor. So as a result, you will have the value of Wf. Now what you need to do, you just need to multiply the two variables. Now we need to discuss the units, because this is very important thing and this is a little bit tricky. So here you can see that the unit of Wf units are Wf into, we have actually multiplied the Wf into H, and the overall the units will be LBM per minute multiplied by BTU over LBM. So what will happen? What will be the unit that you will get from here? It will be LBM. LBM will be this LBM will be cancelled with this LBM, and you will have BTU per minute. So what you will do, you will convert that BTU into LBF per feet. So you will convert that you will convert that BTU into LBF. LBF feet. So this is the reason that this 779 is used. This 779 is actually converting the unit from BTU to LBF feet. So after this conversion, what will be units? You will have the LBF feet, LBF feet over minutes. So you will have LBF feet per minute, and that LBF feet per minute will be converted into HP. So what is the conversion factor of HP? Here you can see that actually I have mentioned this is the conversion factor that can be used to convert the LBF feet per minute to HP. So this is the important thing, as I mentioned before, that you need to focus on the units. So after this calculation, what you will have, that you will have the input power and output power, and you just need to take the ratio, and after taking the ratio you will have the efficiency or the overall efficiency of the engine. And this is the overall efficiency of the engine. Undeliberately, if I told you that this is the efficiency of the drilling rig, actually this is not the efficiency of the drilling rig. Here it is also mentioned in the statement, it is the efficiency of the engine. So we have calculated the efficiency of the engine. So okay, before starting the hoisting system, I want to take statement from your side that if you have any problem regarding the stuff that we have just discussed, then let me know. Yes, students, if you are feeling any confusion or if you are feeling any difficulty in the understanding of any regarding the sections that we have covered, let me know.
Yes, sir.
What is meant by yes, sir?
सर ये जरा इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा गाइड करिएगा कि फ्यूल कंजम्पशन का जो आपने इधर यूनिट बताया, वो फ्यूल कंजम्पशन का जो सिंबल है डब्ल्यू है, इसके
ओके
जी सर, तो ये मतलब थ्योरेटिकल वे में मतलब है क्या चीज ये फ्यूल कंजम्प
okay
with respect to
fuel consumption. So if you will see the unit of fuel consumption, here you can see that where is the WF, where was the WF? Oh, wait a minute. So come towards here. So you can see that here the WF, it is mentioned in the LBM per minute. So what exactly this is showing? This is showing that the 3.78 pound fuel is consumed in every minute. So every minute 3.78 pound fuel has been consumed. So this is actually the WF. WF is actually showing that how much fuel is consumed per minute. So this is WF. This is just showing the quantity of the fuel that is consumed in every minute. Okay, did you get it?
यस सर. सर 31.5 गैलन पर आर भी तो यूज कर सकते हैं, इसको डेंसिटी के साथ जरूर डिवाइड करवाना है, उसका मेन
Okay.
जो है वो क्या?
Okay. Actually, the unit, I will tell you the reason of this. You can see that the power of HP, the HP is equivalent to feet LBF per minute. Okay. So what we need to do, that if this power is in HP, if this output power is in HP, then we have to calculate the input power into HP as well. So why you are doing this? So that we may convert these whole units at the end into the HP unit. So if you will not include this LBM per minute here, then what will happen that you will not get this LBM in the
power factor.
unit conversion systems,
Oh.
and at the end you will be not able to convert that unit into HP. This is the reason that it is divided with the density. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So any other student, if you have any confusion regarding this, then you need to ask now, because when you will try to do in the later stage, and then you will feel difficulty. So it will be best if you will do these calculations at the moment. And actually, I am discussing these things from the chapter number 1 of applied drilling engineering. So I am actually discussing the chapter 1 of applied drilling engineering. Okay. So any students, if you have any question regarding the power system, let me know.
Recording stopped.
जी स्टूडेंट, किसी का कोई क्वेश्चन है इससे रिलेटेड तो मुझसे पूछ सकते हैं.
सर WF को जब डिवाइड किया डेंसिटी से तो उसका आंसर सेम नहीं आ रहा जैसे आपकी स्लाइड पे लिखा हुआ है.
हाँ, वो मिस्टेक हो सकती है, टाइपो हो सकती है. आप मैं देखता हूँ. It can be a typo. Let me check. One point five divided by 7.2. Okay, it is actually 4. Have you divided with 60 as well?
Yes sir.
So what's your answer?
सर ये 0.0729.
Okay, let me check. Wait. ओके, लेट मी चेक. मुझे चेक करने दो कि क्या कोई डाटा में तो मिस्टेक नहीं है. multiply by 7.2. अच्छा, बात सुने, ये डिवाइड नहीं हो रहे फैक्टर्स. ये देखें, ये WF
Recording in progress.
actually I want to correct one thing, that this WF is not actually divided with the density, it is actually multiplied with the density. So undeliberately I mentioned this thing wrong, so can you correct this? So
Yes,
here
sir.
you can see that.
Okay sir.
Okay,
Yes,
you
sir.
just need to multiply these two factors and you need to divide this with the 60, then you will get 3.78. Okay.
Recording stopped.
आप मुझे बता दें इसके अलावा अगर कोई क्वेश्चन है. अच्छा कि आप ये चीजें जितना डिस्कस करेंगे ना उतनी चीजें समझ आएंगी। अभी आपको हो सकता है ये कोर्स कम लग रहा हो, ये मुझे नहीं पता आपका क्या एक्सपीरियंस रहा है। ऑनलाइन क्लासेस के अंदर ना चीजें बहुत ही एवेसिव किस्म की होती हैं, क्लियर नहीं होती। तो इसमें यही है कि आपको साथ साथ चीजें करनी पड़ेंगी, पढ़ना पड़ेंगी और डिस्कस करना पड़ेंगी। ठीक है, जो भी मसला होता है वो मुझसे डिस्कस करें, इसके अलावा कोई चारा नहीं है। बिकॉज आई डोंट थिंक सो दैट यूनिवर्सिटी इज गोइंग टू बी रिज्यूम्ड so soon. I am confused regarding this situation. So at the moment we have to continue this course in online mode. Although I don't like this online mode, I love to teach using the board in front of class. But what can we do? We have no other choice. So students आपको इसी तरह ही चीजें मैनेज करनी होंगी, साथ साथ चीजें कवर करें ताकि आपको प्रॉब्लम बाद में ना हो। ठीक है, तो इसके अलावा इस जब भी न्यूमेरिकल किए जाए ना तो कोशिश करें उन्हें साथ साथ परफॉर्म किया करें, क्योंकि ये चीजें बाद में बहुत ही ट्रिकी हो जाएंगी, आपको फिर ये समझ में नहीं आएंगी। ये कन्वर्जन फैक्टर वगैरह नोट कर लिया करें। कन्वर्जन फैक्टर जैसे BTU से 7 ये मैंने किया, LBF पर फीट के अंदर कन्वर्ट किया है। ठीक है, और बुक से कोशिश कीजिएगा पढ़ा करें। ठीक है, क्योंकि स्लाइड में मुझसे टाइपो भी हो सकती है, बुक के अंदर टाइपो नहीं होगी।
Recording in progress.
सर
Yes,
Recording stopped.
जी बताइए।
सर वो पिछली साइड पे एक दफा कर दीजिएगा दोबारा, जो
हाँ जी,
जिसको
बताइए।
न्यूमेरिकल।
जी जी
सर इसके अंदर ये जो आपने इसको जब आप QI उसको कर रहे थे, इसको कैलकुलेट कर रहे थे, लास्ट में आपने डिवाइड किया था जो इसको हॉर्स पावर से डिवाइड किया 33,000 फीट
हाँ जी,
पर।
हॉर्स पावर कन्वर्जन फैक्टर से डिवाइड किया है।
ठीक हो।
अब यूनिट्स को आप देखें ना, इसमें अगर यूनिट में अभी दिखाता हूँ, ये देखो जरा, एक मिनट रुको। ये देखो, इसमें ये वाली चीज क्या होगी, इससे कैंसल आउट हो जाएगी। ठीक हो गया, ये BTU क्या होगा, इससे कैंसल आउट हो गया। अब रिमेनिंग क्या चीज बची है, ये देखो, ये फीट LBF क्या होगा, इससे कैंसल आउट हो जाएगा। और ये वाला मिनट क्या होगा, इससे कैंसल आउट हो गया। तो एट द एंड आपके पास क्या चीज बची है, आपके पास बचा है HP। ये देखो, ये
तो ये डिनोमिनेटर में नहीं है?
डिनोमिनेटर में ही है। ये जो पूरी चीज है ना, ये डिनोमिनेटर में है।
नहीं सर, वो HP की सिर्फ मतलब है, पूरी चीज है डिनोमिनेटर में, लेकिन वो जब ऊपर जाएगा तो HP -1 ही हो जाएगा, लेकिन उधर आंसर में तो डायरेक्ट HP लिखा हुआ है, हॉर्स पावर।
देखो मेरी बात सुनो, ये अगर मेरी बात सुनो, मैं आपको बताता हूँ, मैं समझ गया आप किस चीज में कंफ्यूज हो रहे हो। ये देखो, सिंपल वो जो फिजिक्स की कन्वर्जन होती है ना, आप वो ज़हन में रखिए। ठीक है, अब 1 HP किसके इक्विवेलेंट है, 1 HP
33,000 LBF फीट पर मिनट।
ठीक है, 33000000 LBF फीट पर मिनट के अंदर। ठीक है, LBF फीट पर मिनट। ठीक है, आपके पास न्यूमिनेटर के अंदर आंसर जो आया होगा ना, वो किस में आया होगा, फीट यानी LBF फीट, स्क्रीन पे लिखना बहुत मुश्किल है, LBF फीट पर मिनट के अंदर डिनोमिनेटर में आंसर आया होगा। ठीक है, इस तरह आया हुआ है आंसर। अब मुझे बताएं कि अगर ये, सॉरी डिनोमिनेटर में नहीं, न्यूमिनेटर में। ठीक है, न्यूमिनेटर में, नोट डिनोमिनेटर में। ठीक है, क्योंकि ये ऊपर आया हुआ है ना आंसर, तो ये न्यूमिनेटर में आंसर आया हुआ है। सिंपल, आपके पास ये एक फैक्टर आ गया। अब आपने इसे कन्वर्ट करना है HP के अंदर। तो पहले तो ये डिसाइड कर लें कि HP बड़ी क्वांटिटी है या LBF फीट पर मिनट बड़ी क्वांटिटी है, कौन सी बड़ी क्वांटिटी है।
सर इसमें बड़ी क्वांटिटी LBF फीट पर मिनट है।
नहीं,
वो
ये
HP, सॉरी HP।
HP, क्योंकि ये इतने ज्यादा हो तो फिर 1 HP के बराबर, तो ये नहीं, ये बड़ी क्वांटिटी है। तो हम अब कर क्या रहे हैं, हम छोटी क्वांटिटी से बड़ी क्वांटिटी के अंदर जाना चाह रहे हैं, छोटी क्वांटिटी से, ठीक है। तो फिजिक्स में जैसे हम करते थे, छोटी क्वांटिटी से जब बड़ी के अंदर करते थे तो हम क्या करते थे, उसे डिवाइड करते थे फैक्टर को, उस फैक्टर को क्या करते थे, डिवाइड करते थे। तो सिंपली आप क्या करोगे, 3300 से डिवाइड करोगे तो ये ओवरऑल किस में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा, HP में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा। आप इस तरह भी इसे समझ सकते हो, ठीक है।
ओके सर, ओके, ठीक है।
अच्छा स्टूडेंट, ये समझ में आ गई कन्वर्जन, ये कन्वर्जन साथ साथ अच्छे तरीके से समझ लेना, ठीक है। और ये फैक्टर्स कोशिश करो याद कर लो अभी से। अच्छा, अब स्टार्ट करते हैं हम होस्टिंग सिस्टम को।
Recording in progress.
Okay, the next section that we will cover in today's session, it is hosting system. So what exactly hosting system is? Hosting system is another component of the rotary drilling rig, and hosting system relates with the lowering and raising of any drilling component. So that components can be the drill strings, the drill pipes, the casing string, casing pipes, and any subsurface equipment. So what can be the any subsurface equipment? It may include the bits as well. So let me draw a rough diagram. So what is actually the hoisting system? So this is actually the derrick, and if this is the pipe placed here, and if this is the pipe, and this is the borehole. So what you will do, and let's suppose here is the hole, or maybe in convenient position, let me draw this here. So this is the hole, temporary hole in which the pipes are placed so that they can be used as per requirement. So this is the hole, and there is a pipe. I am going to show the pipe with black color or blue color. So this is the pipe here. So what you want to do, you want to join the new pipe with this set of pipes. So what you will do, that here you will see that there will be the drill string, and that drill string will connect it to the drawworks. So you will raise this drill pipe upward, and after raising this pipe upward, you will lower that pipe downward at the face of the other set of the drill pipe. So what you will do, that when you will raise that pipe, the new pipe at up to the face of the set of the drill pipes, then you will make this connection. Okay, so where exactly the hoisting system is? So here hoisting system is actually the raising and the lowering of this drill pipe. This activity is actually the hoisting system, and this term is actually used for the you have I think heard on the 23rd March celebration that they used to speak about that hoisting of flag. So hoisting of flag is actually the moving of flag upward. Have you seen that in this kind of celebration, that we move the flag from downward to upward? So that process is also called as hoisting. So that is called as hoisting of flag. So exactly we are doing the same thing, but we are actually raising and lowering the components that are actually associated with the drilling activity. Okay, so this is the hoisting system. Now coming towards the main components of the hoisting system. The main components of the hoisting system includes derrick and substructure, block and tackle, and the drawworks. We will discuss the block and tackle and drawworks in detail. Now, what is derrick and substructure? We have discussed these two components while studying the components of the drilling rig section, and we have discussed that this is the structure which is placed on the derrick floor. That is called as actually derrick. It is a pole-like structure, and the other is substructure. Substructure is, you can say that this is the foundation on which this whole derrick floor and the setup on the derrick floor, that is actually placed on the substructure. Now, what are the functions of the derrick? That if we want to discuss the function of the derrick or the main purpose of the derrick, the main purpose of the derrick, as I mentioned before, that is this derrick is actually a pole-like arrangement. This is actually a pole-like arrangement. So what is the purpose of this derrick? The purpose of this derrick is to provide the required vertical height so that you may raise the pipes here. So, for example, if the height of the pipe is 10 feet, so surely the height of the derrick will be around more than 10 feet. It will be more than 10 feet. So you can see that the height of this derrick is actually controlled with reference to the height of the pipe. So you can say that the derrick is actually providing a vertical clearance to the height or the length of the pipe. Okay. And the other thing is the derrick provides the ability to withstand compressive loads. From where these compressive loads are coming, you can see that at the top of the derrick floor, there is the derrick. This is again, I have drawn the derrick, and you can see that at the top of the derrick, there is a pulley-like arrangement. Is there any student who may tell me that what is the name of this component? There is a component at the top of the derrick. So what is the name of that component?
Crown, sir.
Yes, this is actually the crown block. Very good. So what happens that when you will, during the hoisting system, when you will lift any load from the crown block, then what will be the place at which the impact of this load will happen? You will see that this whole load will act downward. This whole load will act downward. So as a result, the compressive forces will happen or will exert on this derrick. So this is another function of the derrick, that all those compressive forces will be handled with the derrick structure. So it is another function of the derrick, that it is actually classified on the basis of its ability to bear these compressive loads. Okay, and along the compressive load, it also covered the wind, the pressure from the wind, or the external factors, many external factors that may create disturbance in the drilling activity. So here you can see that I have mentioned a statement. It is actually making a connection and making a tree. So what exactly is, when you are joining one drilling pipe to another, then you will stop the fluid circulation, and this activity will be called as making a connection. And if you have stopped the fluid circulation so that you may replace the bit, or you want to add a drill collar, then that activity will be called as a making a trip. So you need to differentiate both these terms, and you should have idea that what are the conditions of the borehole when this process exactly happens. Now come towards the component of the block and tackle. The block and tackle is actually divided into three components. It's crown block, traveling block, and the drilling line. Now what is crown block? We have discussed that crown block is the component that is used in the hoisting system, and it is actually present at the let me draw skip this so that we may discuss these things in parallel. So if this is the derrick, this is the simple image of this hoisting system, and here you can see that there is a pulley at the top of the derrick. This is actually the crown block. Okay, and there is a component here. This is the traveling block. Okay, and at the at blows at the lower side of the traveling block, there is a hook, and this hook is actually attached with the survival, and survival is attached with the drill pipes, or that assembly is actually holding the drill pipe. So the thing that you need to remember at the moment, that we are actually discussing the block and tackle system. So the block and tackle system actually include this crown block, the traveling block, and the drilling lines. So these are the three things that are actually included in the block and tackle system. So these actually these cables or the threads are actually the drilling lines. These are the drilling lines. Okay. And here you can see that this is the drawworks, and this is actually the reserve storage of the drilling line, so that if this drilling line get weird, so that you may use the drilling line from your this storage reel. So this is the brief explanation of the hoisting system, or the component of the hoisting system. And here you can see that there are two lines here. It is fast line and a dead line. So why how you can differentiate the fast line and dead line? So you just need to remember that fast line is the line that is actually contributing in the lowering and the raising of the component of the drilling. It actually taking part directly. The whole load is actually raised or lowered on the basis of this fast line or this drilling line. Why this dead line is the line that is actually not contributing in the raising or the lowering of the you can say that in the hoisting system, or you can also explain this thing in other terms, like whenever you are going to have need of drilling line, you will simply take from these drawworks. But when you reach at a point that you need excessive or more drilling lines, then you will simply take that drilling line from this storage reel. This is actually a extra storage that is used when the drilling line in the whenever the drilling line in the drawwork is either ended or there is some problem happens here in the drilling line at the top of this traveling block, then you will take drilling line from your reserve. So this is another explanation, and it is actually showing that and in this image you just need to focus here that you can see that this is the FF and this is the FS. FS is actually the tension or the force that is actually exerted on the dead line. This is related with the dead line. And FF is actually the tension that happens or that is actually exerted on the fast line. And this is the total load that is carried by the traveling block. Okay. And here you can see that it is mentioned that NFF. NF. So what happens that usually a relation is given that is actually W is equal to NFF. Now what is N? N is actually the number of lines that are actually holding this traveling block. So here you can see that there will be 4 lines here and 4 lines here. So when you will add these lines, these will be 8. So these 8 lines are actually holding this this load at the end of this hook. So if you will take the product of these lines with the force exerted on the fast line, then it will be equivalent to this total load. Okay. So this is the again arrangement of the block and tackle, and here you can again see this is the dead line, this is the fast line, and this is traveling block. These are the components that we are discussing again and again. Now let's discuss the mathematical relations that are actually that has connection with the calculation of the efficiency and the other parameters within the block and tackle. Now there is a term that is actually the mechanical advantage. Mechanical advantage is a term that is used to explain the handling or the ability of the block and tackle, that how much load can be lifted with block and tackle system. So that efficiency, or you can say that the capacity of the block and tackle system to lift the load is explained in terms of mechanical advantage. Now what is mechanical advantage? Mechanical advantage is actually the ratio of 2 loads. Now where are these loads? The load supported by the traveling block and the load imposed on the drawworks. Now let me clean this image. Okay. Now here you can see that this is the load that is actually lifted by this traveling block. Okay. And what was mechanical advantage? Here you can see that mechanical advantage is the load imposed on the drawworks and the load supported by the traveling block. So here you can see that W is the load that is actually supported by the traveling block. Now where is the FF? FF is actually the tension or the force that is actually exerted on the fast line, and eventually this whole tension is exerted on the drawworks. You can see the direction, and if you will take the ratio of these 2 loads, then you will have the mechanical advantage. So it is sometimes called as tension as well.
सर ये दोनों तरफ होगी टेंशन इन द फास्ट लाइन.
So it is actually the reaction force of this weight. Okay, when there will be the weight here on traveling block, then as a result of this weight there will be a reaction force on fast line. Okay,
ओके सर.
it will be not on both sides because this dead line is not taking or taking part in the lifting of this load. This is just the excessive storage. Okay, so that you may use the drilling line from here if there gets any problem in the fast line. Okay,
ओके सर.
now coming towards the ideal mechanical advantage. So what is actually the ideal mechanical advantage? Ideal mechanical advantage is such advantage in which there is no friction. If there will be no friction in block and tackle, then such situation can be called as ideal mechanical advantage. But this is not a realistic case because you know that we have no perfect example regarding this, that we have no example in which there can be no friction. Whenever there will be the operation of any mechanism, there will always any friction. So this is the product that I mentioned before, that if you will take the product of number of lines on the traveling block with the tension in the fast line, then it will be equivalent to the total weight lifted by the traveling block. So here you can see that. Here you can see that these are the number of lines, these are the N, and this is the W, and here it will be the FF. Okay.
ओके सर.
So if you will take product of N FF, then it will be equivalent to W. It will be equivalent to W. Okay,
ओके सर.
that's good. Now, if we want to calculate the efficiency of block and tackle, then what we have to do, we have to calculate the input power and output power, because you know that whichever subject you are usually discussing, that whenever you are actually calculating the efficiency, you have to calculate the input and output power. Okay, firstly let's discuss the input power. The input power is actually the power that is actually applied into the block and tackle. Okay, this is the total power that is actually transmitted to the block and tackle so that you may lift the load. Now what is FF? FF is actually the tension on the, what was that? The tension on the fast line. And it is also called as the draw work load. Why this is called as draw work load? You can see that this is the tension on the fast line, and it is actually the direction of this tension is downward, and this line is attached with the draw work. So what will happen that this whole tension is actually applied on the draw work as well. So you can see this on this image, and you can call this as the load imposed on draw work. So FF is also called as load imposed on draw work. So if you will take the product of velocity of the fast line and the draw work load, or you can say that the tension of the fast line, then you will get the input power. Okay, then you will get the input power. So from where you actually providing the input power, let me clean this. Okay. Okay, let's see. Now you can see that you are actually here. Arrow is also mentioned here. This is arrow, and here you can see that actually you are lifting this load. Okay, and you are lifting this load on the basis of power that has been provided from the drawers. Okay, so actually you are controlling this whole mechanism from the drawers. Here this is a pulley like arrangement, so when you will electrically control this drawer operation, then it will simply uh, you can wrap the drilling line on the wheel that is actually present in the drawer, and it will simply raise upward. And when you will release drilling line from the drawer, it will move downward. So you can see that this whole mechanism is actually controlled with the drawer. So from here you can conclude that the actual power is given in the drawer. So the power is given in the drawer, and the output power is actually present on the traveling block. So if you will take the product of this FF into VF is the velocity of the fast line, then that will be actually the input power. Now what is the output power? Output power, like when you will hoist the traveling block, then what will happen that there will be a load W that will be raised or the lower by the traveling block with some velocity. There will be the some velocity of the traveling block. If I am mentioning the velocity of the traveling block with VB, then this is actually the output power. This is actually the output power. I am going to write this at E out. So when you will take the ratio of output power and input power, then you will get the efficiency. Okay, this is actually a relation. Okay, wait. This is actually a relation that is showing that when you will divide the output power with the input power, then you will get the efficiency. Okay, output power, it is also called as hook load. Is there any student who may tell me that why this is called as hook load? Okay, here it is. Wait, let me snip this so that you may have idea. Okay, students, I want to hear this from your side that why this load is called as hook load. This is actually the output load, output power, and this load is sometimes called as hook load. Any student who may tell me this? Or hook load power. Here you can see that where it is, where it is. Here, this is pH. This is called sometimes called as output power of the hook load. This is output power of the hook load. So is there any student who may tell me that why this is called as output power of the hook load? This is a little technical kind of thing, but if you will focus on the figure, then you can easily tell me. I want to hear this from your side.
सर
Yes.
सर शायद इस वजह से कि ये हमारे पास एक तरफ ड्रॉबैक है, दूसरी तरफ पुली जो है, इन दोनों के कंबाइन इफेक्ट से जो हमारे पास रिजल्टेंट जो एक पावर है, एक एफिशिएंसी है जो कि हमारे किसी भी ड्रिल पाइप को या किसी भी चीज को जो है वो रेज करेगी, तो इस वजह से इसको हुक लोड का.
Yes, but be specific to hook. Why they are using the word hook. Actually, let me repeat the question again. They are saying the output power P out as PH. So I am just asking that why they are saying the output power as the power at the hook load or the power of the hook load. So why they are saying this? So can you tell me the location of the hook in the drilling components? What is the location of the hook?
जहाँ सर जहाँ पे वेट एक्ट कर रहा है W.
Exactly. So this is the hook and the whole weight is holded by that hook. The whole weight, as I mentioned before, that the output power is actually happening on the traveling block, and traveling block is actually connected with the hook, and hook is actually realistically holding the whole weight. So this is the reason that this is called as PH, the load imposed on the hook or the power imposed on the hook load. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So when you will take product of that traveling block load with the velocity of the traveling block, then you will get the output power. So after getting the output and input power, you can simply take the ratio of these two powers, and eventually you will get the efficiency of the block and tackle. If you want to drive a simple relation for no friction system, so for that purpose you just need to make replacement of VB. So VB is actually related with the VF with reference to N. So N is actually the total, you can say that N is actually the number of lines that is actually reducing the VF to VB. Okay.
सर VF क्या है?
VF is actually the velocity of the fast line. So let me explain this in a different way. Okay. If this is VF, okay, these are the lines, these are the N, okay, and here the velocity of that line will be VB, means the velocity of the traveling block. Now you can see that this whole velocity is divided into different N's, into different lines. Okay, this whole velocity is divided into different lines. So this means that if you will take the product of N and VB, then it will be equivalent to VF. Got it? Because this whole VF is divided into N lines. So if you will simply take a product of VB and N, it is like if you have a piece of, like this is a cake and it is divided into two parts. Or you can say that this is a piece of, you can see, let me modify this example, like if this is a car, if this is a car, or what can be the proper example? Let me modify this example to pole. Oh, that will be great. Let's see. Okay. These are the two balls. If this is a ball and the velocity of that ball is VF. Okay, and after striking with two balls, if the velocity is 10, after striking these two balls, the velocity is the velocity of each ball is 5. Then what will happen that the number of balls is shown by n. If the number of balls are shown by n, so the number of balls are 2, and the velocity of each ball is Vb, and it is 5. So what will happen that when you will take the product of nVb, it will be equivalent to Vf. Did you get the idea that I want to say? Because this whole velocity or this whole velocity of the fast line is actually divided into n lines, and the velocity of each line is Vb. So when you will take the product of these lines with the Vb, then you will get the Vf. So did you get the idea that I want to make you understand?
Yes, sir.
Oh, very good. Now this was the relation for the block and efficiency of the block and tackle system. So now we are just making replacements. So we have discussed before that pH, here you can see that we have discussed this thing here. Where it is? pH is equal to W into Vb and Pi is equal to Ff into Vf. So we have just replaced the things, and at the end now here you can see that this is pH, this is Pi, and I have just replaced the value. Now after that, what you need to do, that the thing that we have just discussed, you need to replace this. Vb is actually equivalent to the Vf over n, because Vf equivalent to n into Vb. This is actually n into Vb. Okay. So after this replacement, this Vf will be cancelled out, and at the end, this will be the this will be this relation is actually the efficiency. And if you will make a rearrangement for the value ff, what was ff? Is there any student who may tell me that what is ff? After this discussion, you should have idea that what ff should be. What is ff?
Tension of fast line.
Very good. So ff is actually the tension in the fast line or tension on the fast line. So if you want to calculate the total load on the derrick, so how you will calculate the total load on the derrick? This is the thing. Okay. We are just going to conclude this thing, but we need to complete this thing because this is important. And here you can see that there are three type of loads that are actually imposed on the derrick. First is hook load, other is load on the fast line, and third is load on the dead line. So if I am going to draw this is the derrick load, and the hook load is actually present here. This is hook load, and drawworks are usually present here. So before going to this, firstly just write this is hook load. Hook load was W. Tension in the fast line that we have just found. Where is the tension? Yeah, here. Here you can see that the tension on the fast line is W over En. So this is the tension on the fast line, and we have discussed this in the initial slides that Fs into oh, sorry. NFS is equal to actually the total load on the dead line. So here you want to find the tension or the force on the dead line. So what you will do, that you just need to take this n to the other side. So you will just divide this W with n. So as a result, you will get the Fs. So after adding these three loads, what you will get this expression. I will suggest you to drive this simple relation. This is a simple relation. You just need to take the LCM, and after that you will have this relation. Okay. So this is what this final relation is showing. This is actually showing the total load on the derrick. This is the total load on the derrick, and I think I should end our today's session here. Okay. So in our next session, we will study that how this load is distributed on the derrick floor. Okay. We will discuss this thing later. So we will end up our session here up to the calculation of the total loads of the derrick. So what we have covered today, we have actually covered the what is the basics of the cable tool drilling, what are the main components of the rotary drilling, and after rotary drilling rig, we have discussed the component of the rotary drilling rig, and in components of the rotary drilling rig, we firstly discussed the hoisting system, power system, and after discussing the power system, we actually discussed the hoisting system. Okay, so this is the end of our today's session.
Recording stopped.
So student, if you have any question regarding that, ask me now.
सर
Yes.
सर
जी
वो जो
बताइए।
आपने पहले पढ़ाई है केबल ड्रिलिंग,
जी जी
उससे उसके मुतालिक सवाल था कि जब उसके अंदर हम इस चीज को डिस्कस करते हैं कि वो जो है वो हार्डर के ऊपर जो है वो ज्यादा मतलब एप्लीकेबल है एज कम्पेयर टू
जी।
सॉफ्ट रॉक,
जी
तो सर अगर आपने उधर बताया था कि सेडिमेंट्री के ऊपर ज्यादातर वो काम करती है, तो सेडिमेंट्री सर अगर पेट्रोलियम के लिहाज से देखी जाए तो ज्यादा पोरस भी होती है क्योंकि उसमें से पेट्रोलियम के प्रोस्पेक्ट्स है।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल बिल्कुल।
तो सर सेडिमेंट्री तो एक सॉफ्ट के अंदर नहीं आ जाएगा?
नहीं, देखिए सेडिमेंट्री के अंदर भी हार्ड रॉक्स होती हैं। अब इसके लिए ना वैसे तो पैरामीटर यूसीएस का यूज किया जाता है कि किस यूसीएस की रेंज पे कौन सा हार्ड है कौन सा सॉफ्ट है, लेकिन मैं आपको वैसे बताता हूँ, जो इग्नियस रॉक्स हैं और मेटामॉर्फिक रॉक्स हैं वो ओवरऑल क्या होती है, बहुत ज्यादा हार्ड होती है। उससे जो कम हार्ड होती है ना वो क्या होती है, सेडिमेंट्री रॉक। सेडिमेंट्री रॉक्स में जो सैंडस्टोन है, लाइमस्टोन है, ये सारी हार्ड रॉक्स है। उसके अंदर जो क्ले शेल है, शेल सॉफ्ट रॉक होती है, अगर वो बहुत ज्यादा डेप्थ पे ना हो तो ठीक है। तो शेल होगी, क्ले होगी या लूज सैंडस्टोन हो गया, ये सारी क्या होती है, सॉफ्ट रॉक्स होती है। ठीक हो गया। तो मैं उनकी बात करूं कि जब वो क्ले या शेल वगैरह के अंदर जाती है तो ये क्या होती है, जैसे ही वाटर इनसे टच करता है ना तो इनके अंदर बड़ी ये स्टिकी हो जाती है, स्टिकी नेचर बन जाती है। तो स्टिकी नेचर की वजह से जैसे ही वो पाउंडिंग एक्शन हो रहा होता है ना तो वो क्या होती है, उससे स्टिक हो जाती है, तो उधर बड़ी प्रॉब्लम होती है, वो फिर सही तरह वो कर नहीं पाती। यानी वो बहुत अच्छे तरीके से वो ना उधर वो प्रोसेस हो नहीं पाता। ठीक है,
ठीक ठीक है। तो सर इसका मतलब कि इसको जो केबल को हम उसके ऊपर भी मतलब इग्निस पे और मेटामॉर्फिक पे भी कर सकते हैं।
हाँ
ऐप
कर
के
सकते हैं,
पार्ट
लेकिन ना
है।
वो शैलो डेप्थ में ये पहले यूज करते थे, अब नहीं इसे यूज करते, अब तो होती रोटरी ड्रिलिंग है। लेकिन फिर भी मैंने ये इस वजह से डिस्कस किया ताकि आपको बैकग्राउंड पता हो, अगर कोई क्वेश्चन वगैरह करे आपसे तो थोड़ा बहुत आइडिया हो कि ये होती क्या है। ठीक हो गया ना?
ठीक हो गया, ठीक हो गया सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
ठीक है,
ठीक हो गया सर।
चीजें आपके लिए हो सकता है थोड़ी नहीं हो, अगर आप साथ साथ पेस के साथ नहीं पढ़ेंगे तो ये फिर काम आपके पास जमा हो जाएगा, एट दी एंड फिर आपको सही तरह चीजें समझ नहीं आएंगी। ठीक है, तो साथ साथ इन्हें स्टडी किया करें, तो जो भी चीज हो ना डिस्कशन से चीज ज्यादा क्लियर होती है। जो स्टूडेंट डिस्कस करता है ना उनसे चीजें ज्यादा क्लियर होती हैं, जो जस्ट कहता है ना मैं बाद में पढ़ लूंगा, तो वो फिर वो मोस्टली चीजें उसे ना सही तरह समझ नहीं आती। ठीक है, तो कोशिश किया करें चीजें डिस्कस कर लिया करें। जी अगर कोई क्वेश्चन है आपका इससे रिलेटेड तो आप मुझसे पूछ सकते हैं। ओके, तो अभी आपका क्वेश्चन कोई नहीं है। लैब के हवाले से आज जो लैब हमने परफॉर्म करनी है, लैब होगी वो मेजरमेंट ऑफ द डेंसिटी ऑफ द ड्रिलिंग मड यूजिंग मड बैलेंस। ओके, तो जो लैब है अभी लैब हम करेंगे, एक ब्रेक लेंगे, तो ब्रेक के बाद हम फिर लैब को दोबारा परफॉर्म करेंगे। ठीक है, तो अभी आप ऐसा करें, कितनी देर के बाद दोबारा आएंगे आप मुझे बता दें।
सर 1 बजे।
अच्छा, आप 1 घंटे की ब्रेक करना चाहते हैं, ठीक है। आप फिर ऐसा करें कि एक बाकी स्टूडेंट से भी एक दफा सजेशन ले लें, फिर फाइनल करते हैं। जी स्टूडेंट
अगर 1 बजे ही करनी है तो 1:30 कर लें, जमात के साथ नमाज पढ़।
ठीक हो
1
गया,
बजे जमात होती है।
बाकी लोग भी बताएं।
तो 2 बजे कर लें।
ठीक है,
2 बजे कर लो, फिर 1:30 हमारी होती है।
चलो इसका मतलब है कि 12:30 बजे आप लोगों ने आ जाना है। ठीक है,
2 बजे कर लें।
हाँ जी सुन लिया मैंने, सबकी बात सुन ली।
1 बजे कर लें कम
ठीक
से
है,
कम।
तो आप लोगों ने फाइनली आना है 12:30 बजे।
ओके सर।
ठीक है,
ओके सर।
चलिए ठीक है, 12:30 बजे दोबारा मुलाकात होती है, फिर हम डिस्कस